Hey, this is Dava Lee with the legislative snapshot for week 3. This week was comprised compressed legislative week due to snow and road conditions. Both chambers canceled Monday and shuffled hearings around accordingly. It made for a very unsettled week. But in the House, the Emerging Issues Committee voted out the anti-transgender bills along party lines. They have combined them into two bills. There's HCS House Committee Substitute 1663 and all the other bills that's going to be managed by Representative Seitz that removes the sunset on the transgender athlete ban, and House Committee Substitute 2003 that will be managed by Schmidt that removes the sunsets from the transgender health care. Testimony was 80% against these bills, and MOE members submitted 11.5% of that opposition. So well done. In our 125 update, we called for emailing the committee urging a no vote, and last time I checked, hundreds of emails had been sent. So good job. They heard two bills that are lifting deed restrictions so charter schools can purchase more property. Those are House Bills 2172 by Terry and 2404 by Haruza. We submitted written opposition to those bills after listening to them just because it expands charters and we're not really in favor of that. The Education Committee heard literacy and assessment bills that we were kind of figuring out where we stood on those, and we now oppose them. House Bill 2710 by Deal is addressing an A to F accountability system, but it doesn't take into account outside factors like poverty. It's based on the Mississippi model in Arkansas, and it's basically a things that DESE already does, and the education associations are also against the bill. House Bill 2872 by Loy is prohibiting the three queuing system taught in reading. It's a specific literacy model that they're going to not allow teacher prep programs to teach. And we believe that since not all students are the same, to provide equity, every tool matters. So taking a tool away from teachers isn't a great idea. We don't think it should be, I mean, I'm not a literacy expert, but it shouldn't be the primary thing that's taught. But also, we shouldn't abandon it because what works for one kid doesn't work for another. This bill also includes, among other things, a mandatory retention of third graders if they don't score a certain level on a test. Again, the southern states are using this and they've had success over 2 years, but some states, and Ohio is one of them, have paused that. They've had it in place for a long time, and they're pausing that mandatory retention because it's not doing what they thought it was going to do. So we opposed both of those bills. House Bill 1998 by Marieth would defund statewide DEI, and it was in the Legislative Review Committee, but it got moved for some reason. I am not sure why, but we submitted testimony against it before it got removed, so we were ahead of the curve. For the Senate, we plan to travel to Jeff City this week, and it was a hot mess. The kept changing things around, and finally, ultimately, all the new bills that we were going to go to oppose were removed, and they went straight to an executive session this morning that lasted all of 13 minutes. Those bills are coming back next week, and we will travel to Jeff City to hear some of those bills are coming back, and we will travel then. They did vote out on party lines the Bratton Parents Bill of Rights Bill 948, the Vouchers Without Accountability Bill, Trent's 998, and 863 Bean's bill to put Misha under gubernatorial appointment. And then there's a religious liberty bill that we oppose based on content. It's Senate Bill 909, but we are right now not taking any action on that bill because we kind of hope it withers from lack of oxygen, or people that are there every day can work to get that bill changed. We monitored House Bill 861, it's the Family Health and Seniors Committee. This bill would prohibit gender transition care from being included in the definition of reproductive health care. We just submitted testimony on that online. We didn't appear. There's little to no floor debate in either chamber right now because it's early and things are just coming out of committee. And also, the Democrats on both sides are filibustering just about anything. So there's that slowing things down, and that's okay with me. Looking ahead to next week, when I made this update, there was nothing scheduled in the House that was of any consequence to us so far. And in the Senate, as I said earlier, the Education Committee will convene on Tuesday, the 3rd of February. I don't even want to say it's February yet, but there we are at 8 a.m. to hear 3 bills. And that's going to be Senate Bills 906 by Gregory and 971 Trent. Those are the open enrollment bills that we talked about last week, that we have been against since the beginning of time. And Senate Bill 1002 by Schnelting that moves Board of Elections to November. We will be there in person, weather permitting, and what is it they say? God willing, and the creeks don't rise. We'll be there to oppose the bill, those bills next week. And that is what happened this snowy, cold week in the legislature.